Hello. Welcome to Thursday Dialogue. Today the dialogue is amazing. Today we're going to talk about reticular activating system, and I'm so excited about this subject that I think even if nobody joins, I will be happy to just talk to myself about it. That's how excited I am. And when I found out about reticular activating system a few years back, I think I was like walking on clouds for maybe a week. I thought that I am invincible and can do anything in life. And I will tell you, and hopefully I will be able to inspire you to be just like me, just like I was. I hope you will feel the same. And really, this is my goal and my intention for this dialogue. So let's gather together. And while we're getting together, I will answer one question. But I want to tell you that the actually reticular activating system can help you reprogram your whole life. So you can reprogram life from zero to completely, like, you can change everything in life with reticular activating system, and I will teach you how to do it. I did it, a lot of things. I moved to Miami. I got myself a car. I was traveling all through reticular activating system. As I said, when I found out about it, I was so obsessed that I basically wanted to change my life completely. I thought that I can do everything, and I did. I did a lot. I didn't do exactly like what I would want more, but I do it now, like with every day. So it's not a magic. It's basically working with the bunch of nerves in your mind, and it's that easy. But just to warm up, I will answer one question that I was asked today. So a client of mine asked a question: how do I know whether I have enough energy or not? Now, we always have enough energy. We always have energy. Like, we have more energy that you can even imagine. We're made of energy. But you can find out whether your energy is balanced and harmonious or not. That's what you can do. And the easiest way to do it is to try to turn around. So stand up and turn around and see how many times you will be able to do it. When I was not working with my energy, I'm a Reiki master now, but when I was not working with my energy, I was not able even to turn one time. I will become dizzy, like I would become nauseous at once. But ideally, we should be able to turn around like at least 30, 40 times, easy. Now, right now, I can be turning around for hours. Basically, it doesn't bother me anyhow. I don't feel nauseous. I don't feel anyhow because my energy is very balanced. And that's how our energy moves. It moves like this, like a swirl. So this is how you can find out whether your energy is harmonious or not. And once it's harmonious or not, good evening, Hannah, then you can work with it. If you cannot turn around, then your energy needs work. And this is an indicator that you should be doing something. A healthy energy is able to turn around and with no problem. So this is a question that I wanted to answer to warm up a little bit. You probably heard about dervishes. They dance like this. They turn around. They do it for hours. It's like a meditation. I mean, it's a ritual, but just imagine how strong their energy is. And I was actually in the center of the dervish kind of world, and the energy there is just very peaceful, very harmonious. So think about that. Now let's talk about reticular activating system. So I never really knew about it until one day I read a book. A book was by Barbara and Alan Pease, and the book is called The Answer. And the whole book, if you want, you can read it. The whole book was about how through working with reticular activating system, we can basically reprogram our life and can bring anything to our life. Again, when you have enough energy, because if your energy is only good enough to survive, to move day to day through day to day, routine, right? We won't even be thinking about changing anything, because it's like our energy is only only enough for that. So, but I was happy that I got this book in my life, and I was really enjoying that book, and I recommend to read it. But I was even more fascinated by the reticular activating system, and I started studying it. So the whole book is basically about it and how they. So it's a couple, and how they went through their life by working with reticular activating system. So you can read it. But I started studying even more. Then when I got into NLP, neuro linguistic programming, we actually were studying it more detailed. And you can read. There is a lot of information about reticular activating system. I will tell you what to do with it and what steps to take. So now, what is it? Reticular activating system is like a bundle of nerves inside our mind, inside our brain, and it's the direct responsibility for it is to keep us awake and go to sleep. So it basically balances our wakefulness and sleep transition and the time when we sleep and when we're awake. It also responds for our emotions, our movements while we're awake or when we're asleep. So it regulates basically our body rest and our body activity. Now, how does it do it? It filters the unnecessary noise that it can interfere with our natural processes. So, for example, if I'm sleeping, if my sleep is deep, and you probably know that, like sometimes there could be whatever here, like my neighbors could have a party or whatever, and I would not even notice it because I'm sleeping. My reticular activating system removes like this noise completely, that I don't even hear it. Maybe I hear it, but I don't pay attention. So that's basically its job. So reticular activating system also when we're rested enough and we're about to wake up, what does reticular activating system do? It pays attention to maybe some noises around us, or maybe sun that comes out, and prompts us to wake up. So you can say that the reticular activating system is a brain's attention center, and it's not only picks the information around us, the noise, some kind of stimulus, but it organizes into a thought that is relevant to us. And it's not only does that, but it also chooses the thoughts that we would be most interested in, so to say. So also, what does it do? It corresponds with what information we're getting and how fast we're processing it, and like in what portions we're getting this information. So, for example, when you're sleeping, when I'm sleepy, we process the information a little slower because we're sleeping. Like we don't feel that energized, and we could not concentrate. Like after lunch, sometimes we feel like a little tired, we couldn't like focus. That's our reticular activating system. On the other hand, when we're like in the morning, we're super active, our cortisol is up, we process all the information very fast. I mean, at least I know by myself, based on my information about myself and people that I know, we're very focused in those times. So that's our reticular activating system. Now, so what are we going to do with this information? Like, why am I giving you this biology lesson, right? Well, it actually can work for our advantage. Now, if you have issues with reticular activating system, sometimes people had some kind of like injury or something, they start having problems with the sleep, being awake. So they either have like unbalanced sleep pattern, or sometimes they don't sleep at all, or they could be in coma. That's reticular activating system that is damaged. But we're not going to talk about this. It doesn't matter. Just for you to know a little bit something. Now, so what does reticular activating system do? It basically so we have a lot of information around us. Not only a lot of information, also a lot of noise, a lot of information that we're receiving, a lot of a lot of thoughts could be run through our mind. We could not process all this data. It's too much, really. So reticular activating system is helping to keep us sane and safe, I guess. They even say that our mind, so our organs inside our body are moving, and our mind blocks us, reticular activating system, from at least hearing this. So we won't get distracted. I don't know how true is that, but I read it in some article. So to the point that we don't even hear. Like they say that we can even hear our blood running, but because the mind is blocking it, we don't. So to the point now. So because the reticular activating system picks up the information from a whole bunch of noise, we can choose what is it going to pick up, what kind of information we will program it to get for us, right? So it's like, imagine you are at the airport and there's a lot of noise. There's people are walking around with the suitcases. There is some announcements going on. Some people talking. So a lot of noise. A lot of everything going on. But usually, when we're at the airport, if you remember that time, you were very focused. I have to go over there, and then I have to go over there, and we don't like. It's like we're abstracting ourselves from all the information around us. We just focus on what we're going and what we're doing at the present moment. We don't hear what other people speak about. We don't hear any announcements. We just move on to where we're going. And the same in life. But when you hear something at the airport that concerns you, your mind will quickly get your attention quickly. So so that's basically what's happening. And in life, it's the same as in the airport. Your mind chooses what to bring your attention to, what information is relevant to you. So basically, we can say, without the biological part, that the purpose is for a reticular activating system is to validate our beliefs, our standards, and our parameters. We give the reticular activating system to find the right parameters. For example, if I like cabbage and I want to buy the cheapest cabbage in Miami, I'm focused on this. I'm spending energy. I'm looking for the cheapest cabbage in Miami. My mind will be looking for all the information for the cabbage in Miami. It will get the most reliable, the most current information on cabbage and prices for cabbage in Miami, because this is the parameter I put for my reticular activating system. And honestly, this is how we build our core beliefs, and with ourselves, with our mind, through setting this kind of parameters with a reticular activating system. What we're most paying attention for, what we're mostly focused on, our mind is looking for this information. Now, sometimes we're thinking that we're focused on one thing, but it's not always true. It's not always the belief. We think, like, for example, I could be. Let's imagine I'm looking for a job. So I will be like, oh, okay, I need to find a job. I need to, the mind help me to find a job. Let's find a job. But if inside I don't want to work, my mind is not going to look for a job. It's not, because I'm not really. It's my standards, my parameters are contradicting. That's why it's super important. I will get to that, to get the right get the right parameters for them. For our reticular activating system. When I read this book, at the same time I was shopping for a car. At that moment, I left. I will give you a few of my examples, so to kind of inspire you. At that moment, I lived in New York, and you don't need a car there. You basically, the transportation there is very good. But at one moment, I decided I need a car, because I used to rent a car for the weekends, and then I decided that I need to have one. So I was looking for the car. My parameters were, I need a car, and that car has to be reliable. It has to be cute, and I don't want to spend time at the mechanic, so it needs to be somewhat new. So I remember I had a client. He came in and he's like, "How was your day?" And I'm thinking. I told him, "I'm thinking of buying a car. What car should I get?" And he's like, "Why don't you get a Mini Cooper?" And I'm like, "Mini Cooper? What is that?" I never even knew that such car exists. And he's like, well, it's a British car. It's kind of cute. You will look good in it. So he showed it to me. He opened the picture and he showed it to me. And I'm like, yeah, it looks cute. So after he left, I started looking on Mini Coopers, and I'm like, yeah, it would look good in this car. And in summer, I can remove the roof and this and that. Since then, since I look at that car, since I put in my mind that it's a possibility for me to get, because the price was also good for Mini Coopers, um, I think everybody in New York was driving Mini Cooper. I seen them all over. They were parked everywhere. I saw them. They were like everywhere I could put my mind to. Like that Mini Cooper was the the whole New York was just occupied with Mini Coopers. Was it true? Before that, I was only seeing Lexuses because the car before that I had a Lexus. What I want to say is reticular activating system helped me to pick up the information that this car is relevant, that it exists, and there is a lot of them, and it's possible for me to buy. So that was the first time um, when I didn't just work, when I didn't just got the result, but I knew why I got that result. Because, and I just finished reading the book. It was like 2 months before, I think, and I was very much into reticular activating system. I was focusing, I was keeping the right focus all the time, and I knew that that was basically the proof that it is working. I mean, you don't really need the proof; it comes to you anyways. But I was surprised. I was surprised that before that conversation, I never noticed Mini Cooper. I never saw it. Seems like, but since then, I saw Mini Coopers everywhere, everywhere. Like just recently, somebody told me a guy I was on a date. He's driving a Jeep, and for Miami, it's very kind of unusual choice of car. And I said, I never saw Jeep in my life in where I live. And he said, you will be surprised, there are a lot of people. And just the other day I was walking by and I saw like 3 Jeeps, because my mind now has a new parameter looking for Jeeps, even though I really don't care about a Jeep or him or anybody else. It just, I put it in my mind and my mind is looking. Will it be looking forever? No. After like maybe a month or so, I will stop seeing Jeeps again because it will be out of my mind. It won't be a parameter that is necessary for my mind. So so basically like that. And I'm sure if you will go through your mind, you will find the proof too. You will find how it works. Now, so what to do with this information, right? What to do is we can program our life just by working with reticular activating system. Since a reticular activating system is a part of our mind, it's like a bunch of neurons that chooses the information that we should focus on, that finds for us relevant information. Why not to focus on the information that we want, that benefits us, and that brings something to our life, that somehow um, improves our mind. I'm not sure. If when I was little, there was a saying, "Tell me who are your friends, and I will tell you who you are." Basically, because the outside world influences very much. We influenced by others, and if you haven't been on the live about friendships, listen to that. And I said that all our friendships should be inspiring to us. If they are not, then we shouldn't even be having those friendships. So, but um, but basically, the outside world influences a lot, and it influences us through RAS because it influences our reticular activating system. It basically gives the information that reticular activating system starts to look for. So, what to do? How to rewrite? What we need to do, we need to identify a goal, something that you want for yourself. Something, start with something small, something that you would want to get. Start with coffee or a pink elephant or something that won't like completely change your life. This reminds me of the time I was talking to someone about going to Paris, and then one day I saw a painting of Paris in my boss's office. Yes, exactly. One time I was going to Italy and I was seeing Italy everywhere. I even had somebody in the elevator and they had a bag and it was like huge letters, Italy on it. Yes, that's exactly. Okay. So you need to identify what you want. ideally would be if you would have, I tell my clients all the time, write your life story. Like, how would you want your life to be? And but this is a little too much. Let's start with something small. So what would you want right now? But again, your mind is helping you, but it has to be somewhat believable and somewhat that you can allow yourself to believe in, I guess. So think about like, for example, you can put yourself, I am loved by everybody, or I need proof, and your mind will start looking for something like that. Or I'm respected by everybody. I used to do it a lot when I was working on my um, with my on my energy and my mind. I used to do that a lot, especially when I was working. When I started working with my reticular activating system, I thought that I'm going to make everybody, it's like a Pygmalion effect when we were talking about it. So the same thing. I thought that I can basically influence everybody. Now, in this way, we are not really influencing the mind. We're influencing the mind to find us proof that it's already happening. Like for example, if I want to make sure that I'm respected, then the mind will find the proofs when I'm respected. So maybe somebody in the store will open the door for me and please come in, or maybe something like that. This is not exactly us programming other people or ourselves on other people. It's we're asking mind to do it for us. So identify a goal, something that you would want for yourself, and be specific about it. Why being specific? Because even though I was focusing on Mini Cooper, I didn't buy Mini Cooper because I really didn't care for Mini Cooper. So be specific about really what truly you want, not what your mind is just focused on because somebody told you about it. Now and then, think about the experience and outcome you want to result. So, for example, um, you would want to like attach emotion to it. So for example, I want to get a free coffee. I'm going to coffee shop and somebody spills their cup of coffee on me, and as a kind of sorry, he agreed to buy a coffee. But I don't want this kind of experience, right? Why would I want my clothes to be spoiled? I would want to I would want just a free cup of coffee and feel good about it also. So imagine the emotions that you will have when you will get that free cup of coffee. What would you feel? You would feel like so special, right? I mean, somebody gets you coffee when you didn't even expect it. Maybe a little excitement, but it has to be the right outcome. If you will think about free coffee and I don't know, I guess, yeah, I don't know, but it will happen. So if you will have hard feelings, that free coffee won't come that easy. Um, then create the mental cinema. So this is like a visualization, visual. Sorry, I mean, like have 3-5 seconds of of a little story, and I will tell you about my experience later, and just just run it on and on and on again and again in your mind. Like every time you have nothing to do, you're cooking or you're doing this, or you're cleaning, and run this scene in your mind. Remember, our mind is living in a particular pattern right now. It's used to what we're doing, what we're thinking about all the time. If for the last 2 years all I was thinking about cheap cabbage, then that's what my mind is only thinking about. I don't know, maybe they raise the prices on cabbage, maybe this or this. Do I really want my mind to think about cabbage? No. Why not to think about the, I don't know, plenty of money and me buying a whole I'm just joking. I mean, I don't even know why I'm started with cabbage. But what I want to say is your mind will be focusing on what it always focused. If you want to rewrite your life, you need to start focusing on something else. So run this little story in your mind all the time. So for example, you can do something like that. You get that free coffee, and then somebody tells you, it's on me today. When you feel like, oh, thank you, unexpected, but so like if you feel like this, and run it again and again and again. If that's the coffee is just, I wouldn't even do with the coffee. I usually use the reticular activating system for particular feelings like respect, love, and I tell my clients to do that. If they need proof that somebody loves them or somebody respects them, they can ask their own mind to help them with that. The second, another point is you need to laser focus on it. You remember in the dialogue about manifestation, if you didn't watch it, but over there I was more focused on energy, how to bring the right energy to manifest anything. But I told you that manifesting something is like having an orgasm. You have to be absolutely focused on what you want. You have to be relaxed, and you need to do inspired actions towards it. Don't pay attention to anything else. So this is your focus. You're moving towards there with the particular actions that will bring you to that orgasm or to your manifestation, and you're absolutely relaxed. That's the same thing here. You need to stay focused. Again, if I want free coffee, but my mind is constantly thinking about the cabbage, I probably will not get the coffee. I probably will find the the cabbage, because my mind will be like, okay, so yeah, she thought about that coffee one time, but it's not relevant to her. Remember, reticular activating system is looking for information that is relevant to me right now. And if my mind 97% of the time thinks about the cabbage and 1% thinks about the coffee, then the mind's like, okay, I guess the cabbage it is. We need to make sure that at least like we think about the coffee more than about the cabbage. Ideally, it would be if we will just remove all that cabbage nonsense completely from our mind. And this is not just cabbage, about bills, about uh, about wars, about famine somewhere, about starving children. Like, look, I mean, there is time for charity, there is time to help others, and there is time to develop yourself and to focus on yourself. And that's what we but most of the time people don't even think about that. They think about their neighbors, about their I don't know, about the traffic, about whatever. I used to do it when I was in traffic. I used to work with my reticular activating system often when I was in traffic. So when I got that car that I wanted, it was not Mini Cooper. I was so happy. I started driving to work and from work and staying in traffic on rush hour. And I was spending that time. So in the morning, I would listen to books, and in the afternoon, I would work on my reticular activating system, and I loved it. I loved it very, very much. So when you're staying in traffic, instead of focusing on traffic, on cars, I really didn't even mind to stay in traffic, because the longer the traffic, the longer I'm focusing on what I want. I'm running my mental movies in my mind. So you need to stay super focused. If it helps you, do the visionary boards. I don't have vision boards. I never done them, but if it will help you, do that. I know people that have vision boards and it's hanging above their bed, so it helps them to stay focused and to kind of at least sometimes pay attention to what they want and not exactly what they are focused on right now. You can do meditations as well, if that helps you. So something that will keep you focused. As I say, if you will put an intention that you want to change something in your life, you will be able to focus on it. As long as you don't allow your mind to run on autopilot and just basically running, thinking about stuff that doesn't really is not really important. Now, what also is important is your energy. As I said in the beginning, if your energy is weak, chances are you won't have enough. You wouldn't even think about changing your thoughts. Like, I remember especially when your energy is weak and chaotic, a little dirty, all we do is trying to survive. And when you're trying to survive, there is no thoughts about fixing your mind, about changing your life. All you're thinking about is survival, and that shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be. So energy is important. Your energy has to be. You probably wouldn't be here listening to me if you wouldn't have enough energy already to kind of to even allow yourself a thought that you can reprogram yourself somehow. When I became a Reiki practitioner, that was the first message that I got from my master. From now on, you're responsible for your thoughts and for your thoughts and for your words. Was the first message, and I remember it very well, because the more your energy increases, the more it becomes stronger and clearer, the more like the faster your words and thoughts come to life. So it's like a first rule of every energy practitioner. You have to, well, no, first rule is not to harm nobody, but the second rule is to watch your mouth and watch your thoughts. So you really need to be disciplined about what you're thinking, how you're thinking, and especially to observe the thoughts that are running on autopilot. Sometimes we don't even notice them. I'm telling you that. I will bring you some of my examples, and you will understand how sometimes we think we're thinking one thought, but in fact we're thinking completely different. Our unconscious has its own kind of agenda, so to say. So if you need to, you can be delusional. I like the newer generations because they're more delusional. I swear, I love them. I enjoy them. I enjoy talking to them. And sometimes they say things like, I was talking the other day about to this guy. He's 22. He tells me the next wave of cryptocurrency, I'm going to become a millionaire. I'm like, good. And then he's like, by the age of 30, I will be a senator. I'm like, excellent. I mean, what I want to say is it's okay to be delusional. The more delusional you are, I mean, you're delusional at the beginning, and then the more you are, the more your reticular activating system start finding you proof. I mean, in our world, everything is possible. Everything, I think, everything is possible, and actually, in this book. The book that I started with. I read a book about reticular activating system by Barbara and Alan Pease, and they were the first. They are Australian, I think, and they were the first authors that actually visited Soviet Union at that time. And among their listeners was and the current president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. So somebody, I remember I was in this group, that he believed that he could be president because he had no really that strong background to become president. He became a president. What I want to say is to be delusional is okay. It's okay. You never know what could happen in life, and I love being delusional. Right now, it's Pisces season starts. Be delusional. Be delusional as much as you can. It is much better to be delusional and think about a villa in Spain than to think about where to buy cabbage. Much better, much better, and your life probably will become something like that. I was delusional, and I accomplished things that I wanted. Like, for example, I knew that I would move to Miami. I didn't know how. I didn't knew anybody here. I didn't have property here. I was working. My career was in New York, but I knew I would move here. I was very delusional to the point that I was seeing myself on a boat, on a yacht. Like I imagined that I give away all my winter clothes. I mean, I was seriously delusional about this. And then the COVID started, and I got laid off, and everybody was moving to Florida, and I was one of those people. So you never know how it can turn out for you. So allow yourself to be delusional. And the energy, obviously, you have to have enough energy. Now, what could be hard? So if it would be that easy, I could have reprogrammed my life completely right now to be married to some kind of prince or aristocrat and live in a chateau in the south of France and just enjoy my life. But yet I'm here on YouTube doing the dialogue. The thing is that, as I said, we have a conscious mind and unconscious mind. And our mind's job is to keep us safe and to keep us secure. Now, me here in Miami doing the dialogue, I'm secure. Who knows, in south of France with aristocrat, am I going to be secure or not? It's a change. And for my mind, maybe it is too big of a change. Maybe it's a risk that my mind is not willing to take as of yet. Especially because I'm not really focusing on the chateau in south of France. I'm focusing on YouTube most of the time, at least on Thursdays and Sundays. So my mind understands that, yes, sometimes I entertain this idea, but it's not as relevant as something else. Also, because our mind protects us and our reticular activating system is picking the information that's most relevant and most important for us right now, it probably won't even be looking for somebody like an aristocrat or chateau for sale or something like that. Like, our mind, by protecting us and keeping us safe, is actually blocking us from programming us for something else. So we need to kind of maybe outsmart the mind a little bit, and be very focused and very determined to change. As I said, if we're constantly doing the same patterns, our mind is already used to this. Something new will be a threat. So we need to kind of slowly get into this, into reprogramming our mind, but we can. Another thing is, our mind is usually our mind is our ego. It usually protects us from disappointments, because disappointment carries stress, and the stress is harmful for our body. So often we could not reprogram because our mind will fight us. For example, if I'm in a relationship with the guy, and let's imagine the guy um, is rude to me, and I don't want him to be rude. I know that he's capable of not being rude. He was not rude, and then he became rude. I mean, I don't even know that. But let's imagine for the so ideally, I should kind of find the proof where he was not rude. But my mind is going to be so against it because it's protecting me from being disappointed. If I won't find the proof, I will be disappointed. So I wouldn't even allow myself, my subconscious will not even allow to entertain the thought that he could not be rude. Right now, me being prepared for his rudeness is actually, um, it's like a protection. It's like a shield that so if I'm expecting him to be rude, I won't be disappointed because I'm expecting him to be rude. Now, if I will start looking for him um, for proof of him being nice, I might get disappointed and he'll become rude, and I will be hurt. You see what I'm getting into? So our mind is blocking us like that, basically. Like, it wouldn't even allow us to see when somebody could be nice to us if we are used to see them not being nice. And I see this with my clients a lot. I see clients with parents like this, with their kids, with their siblings, with their partners, especially with their partners. If they're used to a particular behavior from their partner, chances are it would be very hard for them to see something else. As I already told um, my stories a few times, like, if you believe that the guy like, for example, if I have the relationship and I don't like something about the guy, if I'm meeting with the friends, not right now but before, and you probably do the same, when you meet with the friends, what is the first thing you tell them? You tell them, and I tell not to do that, right? What do you say? You say all the negatives. Well, I don't know, he's not consistent, he's not writing to me. We never really speak about the good sides, we usually speak about the bad sides. It's like our form of protection. That's what we're focusing on, that's what we're getting. Now, ideally, we need to turn it around. And when we meet with the friends, we should say, oh my God, I'm so in love. The guy is so nice. He's so hardworking. He's just so successful. He's always treating me so nice. That should be the pattern. Then we will get more proof. But because we're so not used to this, we're afraid that we will speak and then we will not get the proof. I hope I kind of made it clear. And another thing is, our mind is not is more like energy of earth. It doesn't like to change much. So the more we will put something new, the more it will try to reject it. It's like some new food. You try it, you're not sure whether you like it or not, but then you kind of get used to it. The same with the mind. The more you entertain a thought, the more the mind kind of gets used to it and like, okay, yeah, maybe. I remember when I was thinking to move to Miami, I don't think my mind was even thinking serious. Like it was even whether it was just a moment's idea or whether I was serious. But the more I was entertaining this idea, the more I started getting the proofs, the more I started reading about it, the more I started looking into the apartments, and the mind was looking for finding me this information. And the last point is our society is influencing our reticular activation system is more than we do. For example, if I remember, like 2 years ago, everybody was talking, prices in Miami goes up, price in Miami goes up. I never mentioned this, never. But because everybody around me were talking like this, I mean, whether I wanted or not, I was finding the proofs all the time. All the time, I would go to the place I used to go to get coffee, and it's instead of $5 now it's $7. I would go like I got the proof, but it was not me who was talking about the prices. I mean, maybe somewhere in my subconscious I had the thoughts. That's why people would talk. But for the most part, it was I allowed their words to influence me. If I would say no, that's not true, my reticular activating system would not pick it up. Like, for example, a few months ago, somebody was asking me how are the prices in Miami for rent, and I said prices are going down. And what do you think? Yeah, I start seeing, because I'm in a couple groups for like rentals, for property selling, for in Miami, and I start seeing that the prices did really went down. I mean, you could not, like, you wouldn't let me think otherwise, because I saw it. I saw it with with my own eyes. So, but what I want to say, I'm strong enough to filter what I want to focus and what I'm not. Not everybody is as strong. That's why it is super important to know who is in your surrounding, who are your friends, who are your colleagues, and why they are in your field, in your aura. And especially, what are they saying? If they're saying something like, we're buying a house next year, amazing, amazing. So you can buy a house next year as well. It depends also how you would react, whether you would be envious or whether you would be happy, and also depends on that. Now, I wanted to also give you one example, because it was a very bright example of how reticular activating system works. So when I was working with my mind, with my energy, I remember how I told you at my work I had this routine. I used to come and I would look through luxury hotels and villas that I would want to visit. It was like my routine. I come to work for half an hour. That's what I was doing. And then I got laid off and I couldn't work, so I went traveling. One place that I went to was United Kingdom. I'm not sure why I went there, but I just I went there and that's it. And I had an acquaintance who lived there, but she didn't live in London, and she lived like in the suburbs. And I wanted to stay in London because I wanted to see, I wanted to be close to everything. So one day, and plus she was working also. One day she said, "Why don't we meet um, by Ritz hotel, and then we can go to the park, and then we can go something to eat." I said, "Okay," especially because my Airbnb was very close to that place. While I was before that, 3 months before that, I remember I was watching this Ritz hotel, and it was in Paris, though. It was amazing, beautiful, and I really loved it. And for some reason, so there was a video, and there was I guess a guy, like a footman or whoever they are, and he was just basically opening the door, and he said, "Welcome to Ritz." And for some reason, that phrase stuck with me, "Welcome to Ritz." So a few months forward, I'm in London, and I'm going to meet my friend in front of Ritz Hotel. So that's where, because she was working close by and I was close to, so we decided to meet there. So I'm passing by and I'm going slow. I'm just looking around, and I'm meeting my friend. So it's not like I'm in rush. So in front of Ritz, I stood and I enjoyed that moment. And the guy who was worked there, he opened the door for me and he said, "Welcome to Ritz." This is exactly the point that I wanted to make. It happened exactly as I imagined, but I was not staying in Ritz. Our mind, so I allow my reticular activating system to pick up that phrase, and I got the phrase. The guy told me, "Welcome to Ritz," but I was not staying there, so I should have. I should have made my image more clear. Like, for example, that I'm in the hotel, in Ritz, they put your initials on the pillowcases, that I'm laying down on the pillows and I see my initials or something like that. That's why it is super, super important to have the mental picture that will correspond with what you want. And that was one of the examples that I till now remember, until now. So that was one. And another one, I wanted to bring an example that happened just a couple days ago. So, I mean, it happens all the time. If you will look through your life, through your day to day, you will understand that that's exactly how your reticular activating system works. It picks what is more important for you. They say that our phones are listening to you. No, it's not. It's just our mind picks the most relevant information for us at this moment. So I will tell you this example that happened a few days ago. I have a client, and I had a consultation with her, and she has some issues with men, not issues. She could just have wrong beliefs about them, and we were rewriting them. So we were writing new thoughts that she's going to be focusing on them. And we wrote a few scenarios. So for her, like I'm meeting with her every week. So for her, the whole week to work on this scenario. So she basically needs to run them in their mind. One of those scenarios stood out for me. So there were a lot of scenarios. They were basically similar, but still. One of them was, it really stood out to me, and I will tell you the scenario. I asked her, it's not, she's okay with that. So the scenario was that a man comes to pick her up for a date, and she gets in the car. He gets in the car, and then he turns to the back seat, and he gets a shopping bag from Chanel. And he tells her, "Here, I got you something. I went shopping and I decided to buy you something as well." So she's happy. She basically, "Oh, thank you very much. That's sweet." And then that's it. That's the end of the story. For some reason, without even knowing that, so I had a consultation like at around 11 a.m. And I was running. This situation was running in my head. I'm not sure why. Maybe because every time men pick me up, they also turn around like this, and there is either flowers or something. I mean, not Chanel yet, but still something for me. So for me, it was very relevant and very close to kind of my heart. So I was running it. I didn't even notice. I found out when I was already in the evening trying to meditate, and I told myself I've been running this situation all day. Like, I'm wondering why. I didn't give it no thought much because it's not really, I really don't care for it right now. But what happened next day? I have this acquaintance of mine. He's not my admirer, just an acquaintance. He lives in Spain, in Mallorca, Spain. He called me. He doesn't call me like this, but he did call me, and he's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Good. How are you?" And the funny thing is, I answered. Usually, I don't answer people. My phone is on silence. As you know, I work with energy. But I did answer. I saw his call. I answered, and so I'm like, "How was your day?" He's like, "I went to Chanel. I wanted to buy something. If you would be closer, I would get you something too." It was so like funny. It jumped into me. But again, you see, I didn't. Maybe I didn't exactly believe that it could happen or something, because he didn't got me. He just said that if you would be closer, I would get you. So this is exactly how our mind works, and reticular activating system can pick for us. And so reticular activating system has to find the proof to our current beliefs. Our goal is to change those beliefs. And I talk so much and so fast. Our goal is to give the right thoughts and the right beliefs. If the reticular activating system is already working, why not to let it look for something? Why not for it to look for something that will benefit us? For example, you can say something like I had somebody, a friend of mine, when I first started, she used to do this. She used to say, "I always find money on the street." And she did. She would always find a quarter, 10 cents, here, a penny. She didn't always pick them up, but she always was finding. And I say, why don't you change the belief and do something like, I always get extra money, or mm, like my like like something, because 25 cents, 10 cents, yeah, it's good, but it's not really groundbreaking. But we can do with anybody. With my clients, I mostly tell them to employ a reticular activating system to change beliefs about the people in their surrounding. Like, for example, if you're married to the guy and you believe that he is just a hell on earth, he could not be. You married him. There was a reason why you married him. You loved him at particular moment of your time. I mean, there was something good about the guy. I don't believe that he could be hell on earth, that he could be a devil himself. If you married him, I mean, there must be something good. It's just you choosing to pick his worst kind of behaviors right now. But that's what your reticular activating system is focusing on. So basically, what I want to say is be careful what you're thinking, and be careful what you let your mind look for the proof for you. And be mindful, really, really mindful, and laser focused on what you allow running in your mind all the time. Pay attention to times when you're idle, or when you're doing something like habitual. For example, you cutting a salad, you don't really need to put much thought, right? You just you wash the stuff, you dry the stuff, you just cutting it. So it's you don't put much thought, you're doing it automatically. Every time you do something like this, like automatically there are some kind of thoughts running in your mind. You're relaxed, you're just doing some routine. It's like meditation, and your mind is free to roam, to do anything, to pick up any kind of thought, and usually it picks up the thoughts that are most somewhat relevant right now. Make sure that those thoughts are right. You can choose what you're going to be thinking when you are cutting your vegetables. I do it all the time. Like, for example, if I'm cooking something, I don't cook much, but if I'm cooking something, I tell myself, I put an intention. While I'm cooking, until this food is ready, I'm going to think about, and then what I want to think about. Yes, your mind will be going away to the cabbage, to something else that bothers you. It's up to you to bring it back. You can focus on this. Also, your emotional state corresponds with the thoughts that you have at this moment. For example, I'm thinking about chateau in south of France. I'm so happy. I'm so inspired. I'm just drifting like in this dreamy kind of world. I'm delusional, and then like I'm feeling good, and then suddenly my mood changes. It just drops. That means that there was a thought that came in that was not a happy thought, and we need to find it and fix it. So, for example, maybe a thought came in like, um, yeah, but your life is in Miami. I mean, are you seriously going there? Maybe you could not just leave Miami like this. Maybe you're supposed to stay here. So something crept in. You can find out. Yeah, just observe your thoughts. Go back a few thoughts back, and you will find out. Also, it's up to you whether you will want to change it or not. You can just change it. Okay, so I will think about that after. Right now, I'm thinking about the chateau in France. I told myself I'm thinking about chateau in France. Until I finish cooking, and that's what I'm going to do. Uh, you need to be focused on this with everything, with energy work, with your feminine work. Um, as I tell everybody, you can buy my course, but if you if you are not there, if you're not going to do exercises, don't buy it. It will be waste of time. This are energetic exercise. The same here. If you're not going to constantly work with your reticular activating system, it will help you sporadically, not constantly. Won't even help. It just will be throwing some stuff at you for you to kind of be a little satisfied with it, but it won't be enough. It won't be. Um, like when I was firm about moving to Florida, I started getting serious information about it, serious proof and serious information. So the same with anything else in your life. Like, for example, when I wanted to, I also change certain people's behavior like this, and my opinion about certain people. I remember when I was thinking about the guy that he doesn't. He's not consistent with me. He's not paying much attention. He's energy of air. I mean, that's obviously expected, but still. And I wanted to change. I wanted to see this change. I already knew we're not going to be together, but I still wanted to see how it works. So I basically told myself that this guy, he's always consistent, and he always puts me as a priority in his life. And I did get a proof, and I will tell you how. One time I was, as always, complaining that he doesn't really spend that much time with me, and he said, this is his exact words. He said, "I only have one day off, and that day off I spend with you. There's nobody else I spend more time than with you. Like, I don't even see my friends as often as I see you." So that was my proof that he is really that he just doesn't have much free time. That's basically it. But he is spending it with me. My proof I should have asked that he has more free time and then he spends it. But whatever free time he had, he spent it with me. So that's what you should do. Okay, I think I'm done. So to sum it up, um, you reticular activating system can help you very much. Can help you reprogram your whole life. You like the parameters that you set with reticular activating system are your core beliefs. You need to switch those parameters, and your core beliefs will switch. Your reticular activating system will help you. You just need to be focused on what you want. Now, how you can check and how you can use reticular activating system right now, you can set a goal for yourself of what you want. You think about the experience and emotions that you will have when this will come about, and then you need to have a little like mental picture, like 3-5 seconds, and run them constantly. Stay focused on this particular goal, however you want. So you constantly need to return, constantly. Like, I will tell you how I did. I had an alarm. So every quarter to, like 10:45, 11:45, I had alarm for 5 minutes, and every hour I would come back and revisit this of what I wanted, basically. Every hour for the whole day, and it was every single day when I was working on with my reticular activating system, very very particular. And I would just run this mental picture in my head for 5 minutes, and then I would just let it rest, because I was working that time. I couldn't like run it all the time. You need to also make sure that your energy is strong, because if your energy is weak, if it's like all over the place, chances are your reticular activating system will be focusing on what is present issues. Be as delusional as you can, as long as you stay sane. Um, Allow yourself to have different thoughts. You know that your mind will be blocking the thoughts, but allow your thought. For example, if you think the guy is not very attentive to you, say to yourself, but let's imagine he's attentive. Let me see, let me see whether I get the proof. Don't let your ego ruin it for you. And make sure that the society that you are in is influencing you correctly. So don't watch the news, or watch the news only that are inspiring you, and don't run them in your head. You can watch the news, but don't just focus on them all the time, again and again and again. I'm going to try to use Aries to get a full-time remote job next. Yeah, do it. I actually had somebody who did this. But she not only wanted full-time job, she also wanted to work anywhere from the world. She already had a remote job, but she couldn't leave United States. But she wanted the one that she wanted to have more money. She wanted to be able to travel, and she was able to find. Actually, that's how focused she was. Everybody was telling her, if you will find a job like this, you wouldn't be able to get more money, or at least the same amount as you're receiving now. And she was basically like, no, I know I can, I know. And she believed it, and firmly believed in this, and she was able to get. I think though she works as a contractor, but she still makes more money. So who cares, as long as she's happy. Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? While I'm going to answer one question. So I hope I inspired you. If you want, read the book. The book is even more inspiring. In the book, that's exactly why I wanted remote job. I want to travel. Yeah, make sure you put that you are allowed to travel outside of US because a lot of them are not. Um, yeah, so I hope I inspired you. If you want, you can read the book, The Answer by Barbara and Alan Pease. I don't know why I'm advertising them so much, but basically in that book, they are telling their story, how they use reticular activating system. So they wrote a book, they became super wealthy, super popular. It's not this book, the different book. And then they somehow managed to get broke, and they start working with reticular activating system to get back on their feet. They not only were broke, they were hugely in debt, and they basically told their mind that they're going to write a book that will be popular again, and they will become wealthy. So they tell their story. I don't know whether I would reread the book, but it is inspiring to read at least one time. So do that. Okay. So I want to answer the question. Last Sunday we were talking about money. How you block the money depending on the energy center. And I said that people that don't have vision, they usually don't get the money for the vision. Like if you don't have vision, why do you need the money? If you don't know what exactly you're living for, then you probably don't need the money. Now, so the question is, some people don't have a vision but do have money. Yes, that's absolutely true. But also remember, so the question was, I mean, can you explain that? So do remember what I said. I said that if our security first chakra is developed, just a second. No. Well, I guess TikTok, that's, I didn't even know. Oh, okay, so I'm back on TikTok. Um, uh, you remember what I said? When our first chakra is developed, we will always have enough money for our current expenses. So if to live, just to live, I need, let's say, $2,000-3,000, I will always have them. But that's it. If I don't have a bigger vision, that's all I will be getting, $2,000-3,000. And some people, they have a huge expenses. If they were, like, for example, people that were brought up in wealthy families, they have they have club memberships, they have like they go out all the time, they're used to, this is their like the minimum that they are willing to live on. Like to live for them, they need maybe 10-15,000 a month. So that's why they have the money, because they're used to this. This is their standard. This is their like minimum, bare minimum that they can live by. So yeah, they will have the money. Now, will they have more money? I mean, maybe in their situation they can have much more, but if they don't have a vision, they wouldn't. But yeah, of course, everybody will have the money, depending on the standard of living. Some people, they don't need much. They need maybe, I don't know, maybe $1,000, maybe even less, and they're good. But if we have more, um, if we have bigger visions, we get more money. Okay, the same actually with every chakra. So if, for example, your heart is closed, doesn't mean that you wouldn't have money. It just, you would have more money if it's open, and they would come a little differently and maybe happier. All right. Any other questions? Tell me on Sunday how you will do with the reticular activating system. Start with something small. Start with something like, I always get flowers, like that. And then your reticular activating system will start looking for flowers. I remember when I started playing a lottery, I couldn't believe, my mom couldn't believe that somebody can win the lotto. Like I needed proof very, very much. So I basically was contemplating this idea that I need proof. So I start finding proofs on Facebook. Somebody like posted, this man won this amount of money. Then I was actually reading something for my job, and I got in Forbes, and I got this article about lottery winning, and the guy was talking about that in United States, at least one person wins every single day some kind of lottery. I mean, we have a lot of lotteries, so it gave me the proof. I mean, I should have looked for that I'm winning, but my mind basically found the relevant information for me at that moment, and it will find for you as well. All right. If no more questions, we're meeting this Sunday. We're going to talk about feminine women and dating, do's and don'ts. The day before dates, after dates, during the dates. I mean, I will share my experience. You know, I dated a lot, and I will tell you what are good practices, what are not so good practices, what you should wear ideally, and energetically how you should behave. Okay, let me look here. TikTok was so active today. Okay, I think we can safely say there is nothing. All right. So I hope it was useful. I do challenge you to try it. It's that amazing. I did a lot in my life, in the last few years, I should say, and I'm always surprised how it always proves me right. How this reticular activating system always finds exactly what I'm looking for. Just sometimes it's not the thoughts that I would want, but that are running on autopilot in my mind. But what I also would advise from my personal experience, choose something, one thing that you want to focus on. Don't. I did this at one point. I was like all over the place. I wanted the perfect guy. I wanted a lot of money. I wanted like at my job. My God, I was I was doing the craziest stuff. I was looking for proofs of my bosses that they want to promote me. And I mean, it was working honestly. But don't do that. Remember, it's like orgasm. Like you're trying to get an orgasm. If you will be trying to get multiple orgasms, you probably won't be able to get even one. Focus on something, only on something that is most important for you right now. And if you think, for example, if you are focused on getting a man, but you want to get a man because you don't want to work, that's not the man that you're looking for. You're looking for security. So focus on security, not on the man. You will look for a man after you will get the security. So find what it is, and then write the beliefs, like I was doing with my client. Just make sure this is the right beliefs. Again, just because you're thinking this is the correct way of thinking doesn't mean that that's exactly what your mind needs. Like if I'm focusing on the cabbage, then maybe my focus is on food. So I need to find what exactly about the food that I'm focusing on, like that. So um, write them. If you couldn't, you can come to consultation, we will do together. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure you just focusing right. Don't do like I did with Ritz, where I always wanted to hear welcome to Ritz instead of being staying actually at Ritz. Make sure that you have the right mental picture. And next Sunday we're meeting to talk about dating do's and don'ts. But before that, do practice the working with reticular activating system. Start with something small. All right, if that's it, I do want to thank you for your questions. Do please, all those listeners that are listening after, please like and comment. Let's make my page popular together. And I appreciate them very much. And that's it. Remember, I have a meditation. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I recorded this meditation. You need to listen to it before sleep. It's only 6 minutes or 5 minutes, very short. In this meditation, I tell you how to program yourself before going to sleep. So every energy practitioner does it, or at least should do it. Well, at least they're capable to do it. You don't need to be an energy practitioner to do it. So it's step by step. I will put it in the description. Try to do it. You don't need to listen to it every night, but at least you will remember the word and you can repeat it yourself. but it's charged again with energy, as every life. So do listen even before you will go to sleep tonight. So that's it. Don't forget about the course, and that's all. I see you all on Sunday. Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope it was useful. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your Thursday evening.